Hi guys, welcome to Shayasana. Today we're going to focus on yoga for inner peace. In these times when all of the things going on around us affect us all, we're feeling so many things. So it's really good to turn inward, allow ourselves to reflect on that, and to actually allow ourselves to process the emotions and feel what we're feeling. So go ahead and do that during this practice. And remember, if anything feels uncomfortable, to always return to the breath. The breath is really this safety net for us where we can process and change energy in our body by breathing through things. So let's start seated on the mat in Virasana, which is hero's pose. It's a kneeling position when you're on your shins. And I want us all to bring our hands to heart center. Pray your hands in front of your chest. And then just simply close your eyes. Be where you are. Feel what you're feeling. And then maybe decide to set an intention, whether that intention is something for you to process emotionally, or it's an intention for, maybe it's just an intention to focus on your breath during this practice. It can be whatever you want. Find what's comforting to you. And then really start to focus on the breath now. Holding on to that intention, just adding that breath work, that pranayama. Inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your nose. And for the rest of practice, trying to keep that breath work going through your nose, keeping that pranayama flowing, knowing that breath is our life force, our energy. And whenever we feel feelings of discomfort, we can always just focus on the breath and be here in the now, knowing that we're safe and okay in our bodies in this moment. Then slowly blink your eyes open. Bring your hands down to the mat in front of you. Walk them further out in front of you. Come into child's pose. You can keep your knees together or you can open them up here. Whatever feels good for you. On your next inhale, start to walk your hands back, lifting your torso up. Bring your hands back into prayer in front of your heart. Then come up onto your shins, lifting your hips up, and open your knees up, hips width distance. Hands are still at heart center. And on your inhale, push your hips forward, lift your chest, lift your heart, and look up at the ceiling. And just stay here in this back bend, camel ustrasana, taking a gentle version as we start our practice. If you want, you can open your arms up to the ceiling here, and then open them a little bit wider than shoulder width, coming to what I call exalted camel. Allowing ourselves to both receive the good energy from the world around us and to give back through our hearts, through our actions. Continue to move that breath through your body. Slow and deep inhales and exhales through your nose. Then bring your hands back to heart center. Send your hips back down onto your down into the mat, coming into child's pose, either walking your hands out in front of you, or you can walk them around the outsides of your legs so they're pointing back behind you. Slowly walk your hands out in front of your knees so you can simply push your torso up and then lift your hips up, coming back into that kneeling position with your knees, hips width distance. Bring your hands back to heart center. One more time, we will take camel, pushing the hips forward, lifting the heart, looking up. Staying here with your hands at heart center, or if you want, bringing your arms up towards the ceiling, opening them up, finding those exalted arms. Keep those hips pushing forward so you maintain the integrity of the pose. And just feel energetically the positivity of the world around you. Despite so many things, there are so many positive things. Allow yourself to feel that and to find gratitude for that. And at the same time, allow yourself to feel what you might need to do, whether it's in action or in word, to also contribute to the positivity around the world. Doing and saying good things. Then bring your hands back to heart center. Come out of the back bend. Stay here for a moment, and then bring your hands down onto the mat. Start to walk your hands out, hips lifted. So hips are right over the knees. Walk your hands out as far as you can, and then lower your elbows down onto the mat. Then bring your forehead to the mat and find puppy pose. Just bowing deeply, knowing that we are part of this vast universe and this big world. Keep this breath moving as you're in this bow forward, in this little back bend. Just breathe through the movement, through the asana. Then on your next breath, push your forehead into the mat so you can lift your elbows up. Then push your hands into the mat, forehead up. Walk your hands back so you're in tabletop position. Start to walk your feet to the back of the mat so you come into plank pose. Hold your plank. And hips up and back, coming into down dog. Keep your knees bent here and send your tailbone up really high. Try to bring your heart in closer towards your thighs. Push the mat away with your hands. Then bend your knees even deeper. Look forward in between your hands and slowly walk your feet up to the front of the mat in between your hands. Come into your forward fold. And just hang out here in your forward fold for a moment. Keeping your knees bent, keeping the weight shifted forward into the balls of your feet. Maybe grab opposite elbows. That might allow you to bow a little further forward and find some length in your back. Let your head hang heavy. Just relax here and release into the pose. Release your elbows, let your arms hang, and then on your next inhale, keeping your knees bent, slowly roll up to standing. Your head should be the last thing to lift. Arms are by your sides. Tadasana. Close your eyes here. Palms face forward, facing the world. Just breathe and let yourself be. Open your eyes. Inhale, bring your arms overhead. Exhale, bring your hands together and then bring them down to your heart center as you start to bow forward into your forward fold, and then release your hands to the mat. Inhale as you lift up halfway, lengthen your spine. Exhale, plant your palms, step your feet to the back of the mat, coming into plank pose. Lower to your knees if you wish, and on your exhale, chaturanga, lower halfway down, and lower all the way to the mat. Untuck your toes. Inhale, peel your head, neck, and shoulders up. Cobra, little back bend. Exhale, release your head to the mat. Let's do that again. Inhale, lift your head, your heart, your shoulders. Push the tops of your feet into the mat so you can lift your kneecaps. And then lower down. One more time. Inhale, lift your head, your heart, your shoulders. And lower. Tuck your toes under. Push the mat away as you come through plank or tabletop. If you're in tabletop, come up to plank, and then everybody shift your hips up and back into down dog. Take a breath here. Then bend your knees, look forward, and take some small steps to the front of the mat. Forward fold on your exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to stand with a flat back this time. As your arms come overhead, bring the palms to touch, and then bring the hands down in front of you. Just breathe. Inhale, bring your arms overhead. Exhale, palms come to touch, and then you bow forward into your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant your palms and step to the back of the mat. Plank pose. Hold on your inhale. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, shift your hips up and back as you come into down dog. Keep that breath moving. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, lift your right leg up behind you. Exhale, step that right foot in between your hands. Keep the right knee bent and lower the left heel onto the mat. So your left toes point up at the top left corner of your mat. Stabilize your lower body and then lift your torso up and raise your arms into warrior one. Open up your arms a little wider than shoulder distance and look up for exalted warrior one. Breathe here. Continue to let that breath flow through your body. On your next exhale, release your hands down behind you and clasp them together behind your hips. Open your heart once more, look up, and then on your next exhale, bow forward. Bring your torso to the inside of your right knee. Arms come up overhead. Continue to clasp them together, those hands, as they come up and over, and you can breathe into your humble warrior. On your next exhale, release your hands to the mat. Keeping your legs where they are, just simply straighten the right leg. Coming into pyramid pose, but a little different this time. I'd like you to bring your hands to heart center. So lift your back a little bit so you can find some length, then bring your hands to heart center. And now see if you can bow further forward over that extended leg. Keep your hips square here. Then release both of your hands to the mat again. Push your left hand into the mat as you twist your torso to the right and raise your right arm to the ceiling. Revolved Trikonasana. Open your heart here, open your chest. Find that expansion. And release your right hand down onto the mat. Bend your right knee, cartwheel your arms up and open to a T, coming into Warrior Two. Check if you have heel to arch alignment and make sure your bent right knee is pointed at the outer edge of your right foot rather than at the big toe. Bring your hands to heart center. Gaze is forward right at that wall that you're facing. It's a little less traditional. We're not gazing over the extended arm. We're gazing right out in front of us and acknowledging what we see. Open your arms to a T. Flip the right palm and left hand onto the left leg. Right arm comes up overhead. Reverse that warrior, opening your heart towards the ceiling. Continue to breathe. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Come back up into Warrior Two. Look forward this time over your extended right hand. And we're going to push off of the back foot and step that back foot forward next to our front foot. So step it forward. Arms come overhead. Bend the left knee. Hover those left toes up off the mat. And now bring your hands to your hips. Lift the left knee up higher so your thigh is parallel to the mat. And then open the left knee out to the side. And grabbing the ankle, put the sole of the left foot either on the inside of your right thigh or the right calf, or even just down in front of the right ankle if you want to keep a gentle variation. Coming into tree pose. If you've found your stability here with your hands on your hips, maybe bring one or both hands to prayer in front of your heart center. And if you feel comfortable here, you can close your eyes and really try to turn inward. Reflect on your stability in this pose. Stability is a funny thing. We can feel stable here and unstable in the outside world, or vice versa, maybe both. Just allow yourself to be there. And then release your left foot next to your right. Bring your arms down by your sides. Inhale, bring your arms overhead. Exhale, bring your hands come together and you hinge forward, coming into your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, plant your palms and step to the back of the mat into plank. You can always lower to your knees, and on your exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, hips shift up and back, tuck your toes, come into down dog. Inhale, lift your left leg up behind you. Exhale, step that left foot in between your hands. And then release the right heel onto the mat, pointing those right toes at the top right corner of the mat. Stabilize your lower body, and then lift your torso up and raise your arms for Warrior One. Keep your hips square here, and then start to open your arms up a little wider than shoulder width and look up at the ceiling for Exalted Warrior One. Continue to breathe. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. One more inhale. Exhale, release your hands behind you, clasping all 10 fingers together. opposite thumb on top this time. Then pull those hands down behind your back as you open your heart more and look up at the ceiling. On your next exhale, bow forward, bringing that torso to the inside of your left thigh. Your clasped hands come up overhead and you find humble warrior, bowing deeply. On your next exhale, release your hands down to the mat and simply start to straighten your left leg. Lift your torso up so you're finding some length in your spine, and then bring your hands to heart center. Then can you bow further forward over that extended leg? Keep breathing. Then release both hands to your mat. Pushing the right palm into the mat, turn your torso to the left, keep your hips square, and lift your left arm to the ceiling. Open your chest here, find some length. Take another breath here. And then release your left hand to the mat. Good. Bend your left knee. And then simply cartwheel your arms up, opening into Warrior Two, releasing that right heel onto the mat, making that right foot parallel to the short edge of the mat. Find the heel to arch alignment, and then bring your hands to heart center and gaze straight out in front of you. Acknowledge what you see, whatever it is, whether it's an internal vision or simply looking at what is there physically. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, open your arms to a T. Flip your left palm up, release the right hand onto the right leg, and reverse your warrior, bringing that left arm up overhead. Find the back bend. Keep breathing. Continue the flow of the pranayama through your body, feeling that energy. And come back to Warrior Two. Bring your arms overhead as you step the back foot forward next to the front foot. Bring your hands to your hips. Start to bend the right knee, hovering the right toes up off the floor, then bringing the right knee parallel to the mat. And then open the right knee out to the side, and you can either grab at the ankle and place your sole of your right foot to the inside of your left thigh, or you can just place it on the left calf or even down at the left ankle. If you found stability here with your hands on your hips, maybe bring one hand or both hands to your heart center. If you feel comfortable, you can try to close your eyes. So much harder to balance with eyes closed. And I think that's true of the asana and in the outside world. We must open our eyes to see clearly. All right, on your next breath, simply release your right foot down next to your left foot. Allow your hands to come down by your sides, palms face forward. Close your eyes again here in Tadasana, mountain pose. Then inhale, bring your arms overhead. Exhale, sit your hips back and down, coming into chair pose. Then lift your heels up off the mat, coming onto your toes. Lower down further. Bring your hips all the way down onto your heels. And then release your heels onto the mat, releasing your hips onto the mat. Straighten your legs out in front of you. Bend your right knee and bring the sole of the right foot to the inside of the left leg. Then pick it up and set it on the outside of the left knee. You can keep your left leg extended here, or you can bend the left knee, bringing the heel next to your right hip. Just make sure not to sit on it. Inhale, bring your arms overhead. Exhale, cross your left arm in front of your body so it catches the outside of your right knee, and bring your right arm behind you, planting it on the mat at the base of your spine. For Ardha Matsyendrasana, half Lord of the Fishes, as we twist our spines here. If you want, you can bring your left hand to heart center in a half prayer position. Keep your breath work going. And then on your next exhale, untwist your body. Release both legs out in front of you again. Now bend the left knee. Pick up the left ankle, place the left foot on the outside of the right knee. Either keep the right leg extended or bend the right knee and bring the right heel to the outside of your left hip. Inhale as you bring your arms overhead. Exhale, starting to twist your torso, crossing the right arm in front of you, hooking the right elbow on the outside of the left knee. Left arm comes behind you, planting the palm on the mat at the base of your spine, finding the twist. And here, if you want, you can bring your right hand into heart center for half prayer. Gently untwist your body, uncross your legs, and slowly start to roll your back down onto the mat. Bring both knees into your chest and give them a big squeeze. Really squeeze them in tight. Feel that contraction. Feel that rolling up into a little ball. And then lengthen your legs out on the mat. Open your feet up, hips width distance. And bring your arms by your sides with the palms facing up. Start to just let go here. Release any tension, release the breathing patterns you've developed. Just let go as you melt away. Close your eyes. Just let everything go as you breathe and find some peace and tranquility in your final resting pose, Shavasana. Slowly start to return to the room. Maybe just notice the expansion and contraction of your rib cage as you inhale and exhale. Bend your knees, bring the soles of the feet to the mat, and bring your hands on top of your heart. And slowly roll to the left, coming into fetal pose. Bring your hands under your head like a little pillow. And place the hands on the mat and push yourself up into a seated position of your choosing. Whatever feels comfortable in your body, keep your eyes closed. Inhale as you bring your arms overhead. Bring the palms to touch. And then bring those hands in prayer down in front of your third eye, the space right in between your brows. And while we're here, recall that intention or that thought you set at the beginning of practice. And just think of what you want to do with it, if anything, if it's done, if it needs to be done, if it's changed. All of that is okay. Inhale. And on your next exhale, bring your hands down in front of your heart center. And place both palms on top of each other, one palm on top of the other, bringing your hands on top of your heart. So just cover your heart with your hands. The light in me bows to the light in each and all of you. Namaste.